Hey guys, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles, and today we want to show you a few changes we've made in our reptile room. It's really funny. I've gone back, just to see the difference in where we're at. That's one of the greatest things about doing these YouTube videos for me is I can kind of see where I started and where I am now, and it's kind of documented. And this room looks so different from our early videos. If you watch our early videos and you watch our current ones, it's amazing how much this has expanded. So I find that kind of neat. And the first thing you'll notice is we talked about our hanging rack we got. Well, now we have a twin. There's nothing in this twin yet. We just got this today, and we got a heartfelt one to go with it. We got it from a friend of ours who, unfortunately, is kind of leaving the hobby for a while. It's due to some circumstances we're able to pick up this rack from him, but we're really excited for it. It gives us 10 more slots to expand. And then we have so many more females breeding this season compared to last. I realized that my smaller incubators, like this guy right here, I had this one, I had a cooler incubator, they just, they weren't going to make it, They weren't going to be able to get the job done. So we decided we needed a bigger incubator, and that's what we've built here. This isn't a beer fridge. It once was a beer fridge. This actually used to be my beer fridge in my old house before I moved to the current Olympus Reptiles residence. And the new owners, I guess they thought my beer fridge wasn't that worthy. They decided to throw it away. And so we snatched it up, and it's been on my back porch for about now, Kurt, a year and a half? About a year and a half? Mm-hmm. And sitting there, because we knew we'd need to do this, and we finally got it converted to an incubator. So let me show you what we've done. We're pretty happy with it. We've ran some tests on it. Everything tested out fine. We haven't got the shelves in there yet, because we're still cleaning all that up, but we really were excited so we wanted to show it to you. Don't mind the tape remnants. Like I say, we really just built this. You can see we drilled in the back, and that's where the probe for our Heartfelt 2 comes in. It has two, these are all 11-inch heat watt, so it's got two strips of that. It is able to heat this thing when it's empty. And this is harder to heat empty than when eggs are in it. It's able to heat it when it's empty in probably 20 minutes from room temperature to 90 degrees. So that's pretty awesome. One thing about an incubator that you really do want is, especially with a bigger incubator like this, if that air stays stagnant, heat rises, so it's going to be way hotter up here and cooler at the bottom, and that can cause you some problems. So we have a big circulation fan we installed in here, and that's pushing the air down. We didn't attach it right to the top, we gave it a gap so it can actually pull air, and that should circulate the air and keep the temperature more level throughout the incubator. So that's going to do some really, help with that hot spot issue. The next thing we haven't done yet that we're going to do is we're going to reinstall this shelf at the very bottom. And that's where you got the veggie drawers that everybody has. And what a lot of people do is they'll take that and they'll fill it with bottles of water. And the idea being that water holds temperature better than air. So if you fill that bottom section with water, then you don't lose as much temperature when you open your incubator and close it. I don't know how much of a difference it makes, but a lot of people do it, so it has to make some difference. But we're going to do something a little different. Your ball python eggs, they need really, really high humidity. And the tubs that you set up, if you watch our incubation video, those go a long way to control humidity. But if the whole environment's humid, that'll help maintain humidity in the tubs too. It's easier to keep that 95% and up humidity in a tub if your whole incubator's at 90% humidity than if it's at 50%. So what we're going to do is just reinstall the shelf. I've drilled holes in the bottom of that shelf. So there's about, 6 holes per. And then we're going to actually fill those drawers with water. So what that's going to do is it's going to allow that water to constantly be evaporating as I try to talk. And it's going to keep the whole inside more humid, is my hope. The bad thing is we're going to have to monitor that and continually add water occasionally. And you're going to want to be careful if you do it that way and not add cold water. You're going to want to add water that's, about 90 degrees. So we're going to attempt that and see how that works. Some of the other features is why our probe is where it is we wanted it kind of in the middle. So the idea being that if I run this thing at, say, 89 degrees, and we'll do some testing to make sure, maybe 90 at the top and 88 at the bottom, and all of those are within the happy range for our eggs. We also have the ability to run another section up here, which this has got some of our tools in it right now and tape. You can see it's already got the probe in it because we're using a Heartfelt 2. And the nice thing about doing it this way and we already have the heat tape for us, have to install it and put a new fan in, is if we get into doing some other types of reptiles and maybe incubate it a little cooler, or maybe need to incubate a hotter temperature, we have one chamber we can do that with. So we could set this at 95 if we needed to, while keeping this at 89. So it gives us the ability to run 2 separate temperature zones, or more clutches at one set temperature. So that's kind of how we've built our incubator. There's one more kind of hidden trick in this. Of course, we painted it purple. If you notice, we wear purple shirts. We like purple. You always are making notes when you have these eggs. So the hope was we could kind of do something like this and just kind of write right on here. Clutch 1 if we wanted to. And of course it'd be smaller. We could say, like, let's say we had eggs today. Today, while we're filming this, I think it's 2/11 now, isn't it? 2/11/17. And then we could kind of mark the hatch date. Of course, we would. I'm just making it big for the video. We use chalkboard paint on this, so we can make our notes and make notes if we need to on it. And then when we're done, it should simply wipe off. Of course, we'll probably need to use something more than my hand. But woo, I'm breaking stuff, Kurt. We can simply take and clean the notes right off. And you can still see a little bit, but I've never used this chalkboard paint before. Have you, Kurt?
Nope.
I bet if we do that, woo! If I have any grade school teachers that watch this, you're probably thinking, didn't you talk enough in school and I made you clean enough chalkboards that you were good at this? Well, apparently not. Ha ha ha. Don't make me do it anymore, please. But anyway, there it is. It cleans right off. So we thought that'd be a really cool feature to be able to make notes right on our incubator. That was actually one of Question Girl's ideas that we put to good use. So there it is. That's our incubator. Kurt, you got any questions?
Yeah, since we just made this, what is going to be the process of kind of testing this out to make sure it's safe to incubate?
That is a really good question. And speaking of which, we do need to make one change. Because we did kind of test a little bit. And this is one of my engineering ideas that failed miserably. We wired the fan into the heat tape. The thought being that when this was kicking on to heat, the fan would kick on and move the air. The problem comes in is when this is at temperature, we've got enough juice in it that it's only running like 35% to maintain temperature. And that's not enough to really spin that fan to move enough air. So we're going to have to rewire the fan and just wire it to a direct plug-in. So it's just going to be on all the time, which won't hurt anything. It'll just keep the air really well mixed. And that's why we test these. You want to test your incubator. And what I tend to do is I'll fire up my incubators when my snake has a pre-lay shed. So the snake sheds, I know it's a pre-lay shed, I fire up an incubator, I put a tub in it, I get all my measurements, I make whatever adjustments I need so that I know then that it's running. And I'll run that thing for 30 days, at least 2 weeks. Sometimes it takes me a week to get around to it, that's why I do it at pre-lay shed. If I'm busy, but then it kind of sets in my brain it's time to do that. Because I want my incubator to be on and running for at least 2 weeks before I put a set of eggs in there. The reason is, it gives me time to see if there's a problem, make the adjustments I need to make, and make sure everything is happy. And that 2 weeks of electrical I use, I'll just eat that. It's not going to cost you much. I mean, we have a total of, 5 feet of heat tape in there. And that's like 110 watts, but it only runs at 30%, so 940 watts running there, and the fan's probably 20 watts. So it's like leaving a light bulb on. I think I can live with leaving that light bulb on. But you really want to test it. Because the last thing you want to do is throw eggs, turn the incubator on, then find you have a problem. It's not holding humidity right, or it's not holding temps right, and your eggs are toast. And so now if I do that and something's not working, I have a few backup incubators I can go to until I figure this one out. But I always want to fire that up about 2 weeks in advance. And just make sure that every time I come in, this is reading where I want, and that temperature matches to a temperature probe I have in my incubation tub. Because a lot of times they'll be different. I'll need to adjust this to get that where it needs to be. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions, Kurt?
Nope, that's all.
All right, well, guys, I hope you're excited about what we have in our future, because I know I am. I mean, just if you can take a second, Kurt, and just spin it. And I challenge you guys, go watch like one of our first 5 videos and see what I mean, how the room looked. And now look how it looks. Like, these racks here didn't exist. Obviously, the Diamondback wasn't there. The green trees weren't there. This whole rack of snakes wasn't there. That cage was in a different spot. I don't know if these baby racks were here yet. These racks were here. But this whole room is taking on an entirely different a look. And we've expanded so much. And it's awesome. Like, I'm really excited. Also, you know, for those of you that have contacted us through email or whatnot, or through comments, and kind of shown a lot of support, we really appreciate that. You know, we've had several people reach out to us and say, hey, we really like, you know, seeing what you're doing, and that seeing that you're doing this is inspiring to me to do. And trust me, if I can do this, then you can. Like, there is absolutely nothing special about me, okay? I am literally the regular guy walking down the street. And so if I can do this, then you can too. And so hearing those people that say that they're inspired by that, that's a surprise. We didn't expect that when we started these videos, but it's really neat to hear. So I am blown away that we're doing that for some of you, and I think that's great. And I hope that everybody that wants to do this sticks with it, because you can do it. Like, you can. I know you can, because it's kind of a reality for us now, and we're just 2 regular guys. Like, it's not like, you know, we're anything special. Neither one of us are superhuman intellects, I don't think. Or you've heard of superhuman intellect, I don't know about it.
No, I like to think sometimes, but I know I'm not.
Me too. Sometimes I think I'm the smartest son of a bitch in the room, but it's probably not true. Neither one of us has been bit by radioactive spiders, none of that craziness. We're just 2 regular guys. So if we can do this, then you can do it too. So, and just as much as you find that inspiring, like the videos, when I hear from you, we find that inspiring, because it kind of makes me want to keep doing these videos. Like, if they're really helping people, I want to keep doing it. Where before we didn't know, and sometimes you're like, oh man, oh, we got so much to do. We got to film something tonight to get something ready, and you know, and then you get one of those messages, and you're like, that's awesome. That's why I want to do this. So thank you to all of you that watch these and like comment and support us, and it's just mind-blowing to me. So thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Anything else, Kurt?
Nope, I don't think so.
All right, well, keep watching this year, because we've shown you this incubator empty, and my goal is to show it to you full, right? We're going to start putting some clutches in here really, really soon. So stick with us and just go on this ride with us, because this is a big, exciting year for Olympus. All right, thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.